right, so let's go ahead and look at this one where it says create your own. And today what we're going to do is we're just going to create our own together. And so on the back it says that we want to have a part of a group of 3. So today I'm choosing to use the number 4200ths. 4200ths group of the whole number 3. So if I were to rewrite that, it would look like 4200ths times the whole number 3. And I can estimate that to be about 1.5 because 4200ths is almost a half, and if I have 3 groups of 1/2, I have about 1.5. So when I think about what does my picture need to look like, again I want to identify my whole, because this is my whole that we're choosing to use, and I need to lightly shade in the whole amount, which would be the number 3. So again, I'm going to lightly shade in the whole number 3. Alright, and this makes my whole 3. And we want 4200ths of the whole 3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to shade in 4200ths cross shading. So we have 1/10 of each piece, 2/10 of each piece, 3/10 of each piece, 4/10 of each piece, and then I need to go ahead and shade in 2 more to give me the 42. So we have 4200ths part of the 3. So our action is part of a whole set, and we're going to be finding out 4200ths part of 3. 3 being the whole, 4200ths being the part. So again, I'm going to relate this back to whole number multiplication. So I'm going to start with 4200ths times the whole number 3. I'm going to relate that back to fractions, 4200ths times the whole number 3. And I'm going to relate that to 42 times 3, because math should always make sense, and so I should be relating it back to something that I'm familiar with. And so when I think about the number 42 times 3, I can think about 3 times 2, which is 6, and 3 times 4, which is 12. So my exact answer in whole number form is 126. When I think about 4200ths times 3, again, an equivalent, I can just make this feel more normal, more equal, more balanced, because math should feel balanced. I can put my whole number 3 under the number 1, and it doesn't really change the value, but it makes it feel more balanced. And so if I go back to 3 groups of 2 is 6, and 3 groups of 4 is 12, that's 126, and 100 times 1 is 100. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, that is an improper fraction, which is equivalent to 1 whole and 26 hundredths. So when I go back to my decimal form, I can say 3 groups of 2 is 6, and 3 groups of 4 is 12. And I'm talking about 42 hundredths, so I move that decimal point 1, 2 places, for the hundreds, and I get 1 and 26 hundredths.